Hello, hello, this is Panda, and I'm here together with Spire
Hello.
and Caspar, and also a stand-in for To Know To Name. And today we got for you a really simple to build and practical send generator. So after our infinitely fast send generator, we got many questions for a send generator that works in every seed without getting super slow and chunk loading issues and all that stuff, and without having to build super long conveyors. And this is what that is. This is all there is to the send generator. In the overworld, you just need to collect the items. So the way it works should have been super obvious to us. Um, you see the sand gets shot around here and then lands on this block in the same moment that it gets teleported here. And then the sand just gets moved up again and gets shot around again. And yeah, Caspar and To Know To Name came up with this. And that's really all there is to it. And then we have it on both sides of the end portal here. So it produces 10 blocks per second, and this version works for red sand, white sand, and gravel. It doesn't work for Anvils and Dragon Eggs here because they get moved by pistons. But let's turn it on and see what speed it has, right? Oops. So in the overworld, we just have a simple item collection built up. There we go. So over here we have a soul sand. If the sand lands on it, it just pops out. So that's making it really easy to get the items, and then we just collect the items in the chest here. But also you can see we have our item counter set up there already, and armor stand here to count. So let's just turn that on. And you can see it directly jumps to exactly the speed that it should produce per hour, because sand generators work really reliable in that regard. There's no randomness involved. So yeah, 36,000 items per hour is what this version does. And you can see the TPS stay at 20 TPS, no problem, and it just works, simple as that. So for this design, Caspar will do a tutorial. But we also have another version to show you, which works for Dragon Eggs and Anvils too. It's more complicated, so if you just want a simple sand generator, I highly recommend you to go with Caspar's thing. But let's get to the more complicated one.
Alright, so this is the design that Panda and I made, based on the concept that Caspar showed to us. As you can see, it's a little bit more complicated to build, because you do have to remove a bit more bedrock than the other design, but it does have its advantages. For instance, that it does work with the Ender Dragon's eggs, as well as Anvils, and the other gravity affected blocks like the gravel, the sand, and the red sand. But we also have to use some other trickery that you might be able to see, for instance a boat inside a portal with a chicken inside so that it doesn't get teleported, and we use this boat to align the falling entities while pushing it in the portal. But to see that a bit more in action, I would say we turn it on, and then you can observe it yourself.
So you can see it here. We just let the sand drop down, push it over, push it up again, punch it back in with a slime block, and then let me turn on the hitboxes again. You see the boat in there, and the falling sand entity gets punched against this boat, is just inside the portal, but still lands on this piston head, and the cycle starts over again. Same for the Anvils and the Dragon Eggs and all the other blocks. So let's get to the overworld and yeah, see what speed it has. So the collection system is still the same in the overworld, just a simple soul sand block with water on top to move the items out, and you can see the items are falling out here and get into our item collection. So let's turn on the item counter again, and you can see the speed already, 86,400 items per hour. That is 25 double chests, and yeah, you need 10 hoppers to keep up with the speed, so that's why we have 10 hoppers here, which lead into chests. And yeah, you can see all the loot here. Also, it produces some eggs, I think 32 per hour on average, so it's an egg farm as well. And I will now do a tutorial for the version that Spire and I did. But also keep an eye on Caspar's channel, because he will do a tutorial on the simpler version as well. And if you don't want to go super crazy and yeah, fiddle with difficult bedrock breaking, then this is definitely the version for you. So consider it. Before we start with the tutorial for the sand generator, you need to remove the bedrock blocks around the portal like this. so that the portal looks like this. Over here the portal blocks still need to be intact, but the bedrock below needs to be removed. If you don't know how to do that yourself, I will make an unlisted video and link it in the video description, where I will tell you how to remove these bedrock blocks. Now that you removed the bedrock, we can start with building the sand generator. First off, we want to get the boats in there so that the sand will collide with them and not only get teleported but also get placed here. So for that we need a few blocks, cobblestone walls, iron bars, a boat and eggs. So we will just place blocks on top of the portal here and maybe also a bit out to the side. Then place an iron bar against the bedrock over here and place a cobblestone wall on the side here and one on the side here and place the boat in the center. Now it's really helpful to press F3 and at the same time then B to see the hitbox of the boat, and then make sure that it's in between these blocks and aligned all the way to the back of the iron bar, so it needs to be aligned against it, and after you get out make sure that it still is there and also that it's in between the walls. Now you want to get a chicken inside the boat so that the boat doesn't get teleported once it falls into the portal. Oops, and there we go. One chicken is in the boat. And that's pretty much it already. Now you can remove the blocks below here and the boat will fall in. And we are ready for the next step. For the main part of the sand generator you will need a few blocks, half slabs, cobblestone walls, redstone, repeaters, pistons, sticky piston and slime blocks. So we will start by placing pistons below the boat here, facing outwards from the portal. Then diagonally down in front of the pistons we will place cobblestone walls right here. They will make sure the sand or anvils don't drop down too far, or dragon eggs. Then next up we want to place pistons right here, which will move the falling entities up again. And now we just need to punch them back into the portal. That will be done by slime blocks, which are up here. And the slime blocks of course need to get pushed by a sticky piston, which we will place right here. So the whole thing looks like this. Now we need to wire the whole thing up. So the pistons which are below the boat will get powered from up here using budding. In order to make them extend we need to place another piston in the corner here, which will trigger them. Once this one triggers it will update them and the budding will make them extend as well. Now we need to get the wire over here. We need to use a slab here so this piston isn't getting budded. And then we will wire it into this piston with a repeater on the smallest delay. From here we also take the wire and connect it into these pistons back here, like this. And then we need to make the top piston stay extended for a little bit longer, which we can do by wiring it up here. While it is extended, this wire will connect to up here and the piston will stay extended. Now all that's missing is a clock to trigger it. So we need some blocks, redstone, repeaters, a comparator and a lever to build the clock. So to build it we go to the side here and build 5 blocks out. And also on the block besides that also 5 blocks out. Then the clock will be wired into it using one repeater on the lowest delay and one repeater on the second delay, like that. And behind it we have the redstone of the clock. Now from over here on this side we go out with a repeater on the second delay, go into a block, which goes into redstone, which goes into a block again, and then we place a comparator on subtraction mode, so the lamp in front needs to be on over here, and that goes into a repeater on the second delay again. So let's look at it from on top. Repeater on the second delay, repeater on the second delay, repeater on the second delay, repeater on the first delay there, and comparator in subtraction mode over here. Now we just need to add the on-off switch to the clock. So we build out 2 blocks to this side, place a lever here and turn it on, place redstone here. Now we need to wire the signal from the lever over into this part here to override the signal so that it's extended in off mode. We will do that by building one block down here and one block down here, placing a block there, and placing a repeater on the full delay going away from the lever, and going into another repeater on the full delay over here. So from on top it looks like that. Then we also want to backwire this into the comparator over here. So we'll do that by placing a block on top of the repeater here. Just hold shift and place it. And placing a redstone dot on this block here. And then placing another repeater on the full delay over here like that. So from on top it now looks like that. And note that there is a repeater on the full delay below this block. And that's it. That's the entire sand generator. Now we just need to place the blocks we want to dupe in there. So let's say we want to dupe red sand, and an anvil and a dragon egg. And now we just need to switch it on. And it goes round and round and round. And in the overworld the items will drop. Now you only need to build the clock one time and can just build the first two steps I showed, the boat and the piston setup here, on the other four sides and connect it as well with the redstone. And that's it. I'm done with all four sides, so now this generator would run at the maximum speed. So let's just turn it on and go to the overworld. As you can see, I connected with a second account here so that we can go into the overworld without having to set up any chunk loaders. And the item collection in the overworld is, as we said, super easy. Actually, it kind of works here already because the leaves make it pop out and jump up, so you could just add water streams there. But if you're not as lucky to have the spawn right inside a tree, like we have over here, you can, for example, place a soul sand block, and you will see the items pop out on top of it. And then you could add a block lower some ice, like to over here, and encase the whole thing with glass a little bit. Oops. And put a water stream in there to flush the items out. And then you could add whatever item collection you have right here. Other than soul sand, you could also use a chest or an ender chest to make them pop out. Or, as you saw below, you could also, oops, that wasn't the smartest idea, you could also use leaves on top of a block, like that, and they would just fire out to one side. But I think that's it. So, thanks for watching, and see you next time.